What's going on, everyone? I hope you're doing good. So, right now, I just want to talk a little bit about something that's important to me, and I want to share that information. My thought process about this is basically bodybuilding and body dysmorphia. Basically, when we start lifting at a very young age or doing exercise or something, it's always because there's an issue, something we see maybe that we want to fix or improve. Like, for example, for me, when I was like at 14 years old, I felt like I wanted to build muscle because I was too skinny. So I started lifting weights to get bigger and stronger. Um, and after a while, I reached bigger weights and I got heavier as well, body weight wise. I started lifting, I was maybe 180 pounds when I was 14, 175, 180 pounds, something like that. Maybe even less. I can't remember, it's been a long time. But, anyways, my point is, even though I got bigger over the years. Now I'm 210 pounds, 211 pounds some days, around that. Um, there's some days I still feel skinny, even though I know I'm not. You know, I put in these negative thoughts in my head that, holy shit, I'm skinny. And then I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, dude, you're 5'11", 210 pounds man. You know, you're not skinny. And that's the thing I want to talk about. Why am I thinking about, oh, I'm skinny right now? And I think one of the reasons, one of the main reasons is social medias, okay? Because the thing is, we always go on social medias and like it or not, whether or not you like it, when you look at someone else on social medias and their lives and how they look, consciously or subconsciously you will compare yourself to them. Okay, it's all there is to it. We're human beings, we compare ourselves to others all the time, even though we like it or not. And I think that's a big negative factor, in a sense that we compare ourselves to that person, that man or that woman that we probably don't even know. We don't know their backgrounds, on how long they've been lifting, what they're eating, what their goals are. Are they natural or on steroids? That's another big one that we cannot really figure out, uh, unless there's like really telltale signs on that person, or they just admitted it. So, what's the point? In my head, I'm like, dude, why am I comparing myself to other people? First of all, on steroids, I never compare myself to people on steroids because they can't relate to me and I cannot relate to them, and it's completely different ball game. Okay, so I just cut that out. I follow people on steroids. I admire them a lot because they do amazing things. But the thing is, I just don't go in there to like compare myself. I just go in there to see them achieve amazing things and take some inspiration from that and education. That's how I think about social medias, you know. Because if you go on social media and always compare yourself to that person, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, he looks like this, she looks like that, that is a really good recipe to get even more and more body dysmorphia and feel insecure about yourself. In my opinion, I think you really need to focus on how you looked in the past and try to better that person, because that is literally the only person that's important to better. Because it doesn't matter if you compare yourself to that person or that guy, blah, 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 it won't change anything. Okay, your genetics are your genetics, and there's nothing you can do about it except try to improve yourself as a person, mentally and physically. That's all there is to it. So that's why, even though I go on social medias these days, I first of all, I go there to learn and educate myself most of the time, and I don't stay on there for too long. I, I think it's important to just stay clear of social medias here and there, and go there on moderation. Because if you are on social media way too long, it might get to your head. Sometimes I feel like I've done that for myself. Like, I go on social medias from too long, and then I start to like feel drained a little bit mentally. I'm like, dude, why am I mindlessly, brainlessly scrolling? Like, I'm tired of that shit. You know, I don't want to do that. I think it's important to be centered and stay off the internet, stay off the matrix more and more often. You know, I personally, I think it's one of the main issues that body dysmorphia is a thing that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because people go on social medias for so long every single day, hours and hours on, and they scroll, and then imagine how many people they compare themselves to. That's not healthy, man. I mean, but if you can go there on social media and stay neutral and go there for the purpose of being inspired, being motivated, and learning shit, and keep these negative emotions away, well, fuck, go on social media. But if you go on social media and you have all kinds of negative emotions like jealousy, envy, and then you feel insecure maybe even more about your body after because you compare yourself to these people, maybe it's time to just back off the fucking social medias and focus on you. Okay, that's the thing that I focus on a lot. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I know I'm not a skinny person. I understand that. But it's just that the thing, we get that illusion sometimes of that because we compare ourselves to somebody completely different. You might go on social media and you might find that person, that guy who's a fucking 6'4", amazing genetics and been lifting for 20 years, for example. And then you compare yourself to that person, but you're maybe only 5'6", and a different frame, different genetics, and you only been lifting for 2 years, and then you compare yourself to that guy, that man who's been lifting for 20 plus years, 6'4", completely different person, different genetics. So it's not worth comparing yourself to basically at all. If anything, you compare yourself to somebody who has a similar height and frame than you. That's more realistic, but then again, different genetics. They've been lifting for a different amount of time than you. They got different shapes. Meaning conditioning and everything. So it's worthless to compare yourself to other people, in my opinion, because there's too many factors involved. There's so many fucking factors involved, and then you don't even fucking know if they're on steroids or not, which is one of another major factor. So I feel like if you're gonna compare yourself to someone on the internet, just compare yourself to yourself, man or girl. Like, it's not worth being jealous and envious of others because it's not going to change anything for you. If anything, it's going to get into your head. You're going to get into your own head negatively and be more and more and more negative and insecure and compare yourself to others left and right all the time. And that is not a good, healthy way to live life, in my opinion.